and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You know, we had this big building boom, and real estate is always probably the best investment you can ever get. But it's also, in its own way, probably the most dangerous investment you can ever get if you don't handle the pieces properly. With me is Jerry Cook from A Property Inspection Services.
APROtected.
Oh, APROtected.
Oh, APROtected property inspections.
Okay. So my first question is, why'd you get into it?
23 years ago, I was a store manager at Home Depot,
Okay.
working 80 hours a week, not seeing my family very much, kind of going at it. But I did what they say, bleeding orange. I was there to make that business run. Came home one day, my son asked me, "What are you doing home?" I said, "What do you mean? I live here." "You ain't never home." Really hit something with me.
Right.
Hit hard. Saw an ad in the paper that said, do home inspections, make $50,000 a year doing home inspections part-time. I said, "Wow, if you make $50,000 doing part-time, you probably do pretty good long-term then." So I went for it. Went for it hard. So
Was that ad correct?
it's a little off.
Excuse
Low.
me. Yeah.
Low.
But did you go work for a company?
No. I started from scratch myself. Did all the advertising myself, got online, got into everything I could, went to open houses, got in front of real estate offices, did everything I could. Now, this was down in Broward.
Okay.
I started down in Broward. When I moved up to Port Saint Lucie, I just hit heavy on open houses and real estate offices and just really grew it from there.
What about, is it a licensed profession?
It is now. Over, I think, 2000, since 2004. I got into it before then, so I was grandfathered in. But my son's going through it right now. So he has to go to class, he has to get the license, there's certain criteria he's got to get where he wants to be. So,
But obviously, I'm an entrepreneur like you, so we're foolish. Okay, we probably make $1.80 an hour. Most people don't have a clue. Okay, they don't realize what we have to go through with insurances and everything. Okay, so do you do residential and commercial?
we do mostly residential. I have done commercial, but I kind of stick towards the residential side more than the commercial.
Do you think the fact that you worked at Home Depot gave you a leg up?
Oh, sure. I don't just go in and tell people what's wrong with the house. I go in and tell them what's wrong with the house and how to fix it. Because I went through, back when Home Depot, and I was with Home Depot, went through a lot of PK classes, product knowledge classes. So they would tell us how a faucet works, break it down, everything. So I can tell not the faucet doesn't work, well, it's probably the stem clogged in this, and you just pull it out this way, and so and so. So yeah, it gave me an edge on explaining I'm very good. I've been known to be one of the best at explaining a home and not killing the deal because you over-explain something and make it into a mountain out of a molehill, So,
Right, the faucet doesn't work. Oh, you have to change the faucet. No, you just need to clean it out.
You clean it out. You just don't need to change the faucet.
Right.
So, yeah, Home Depot definitely helped me in getting to where I'm at right now.
So, obviously, we already got to the point that you're doing this 23 years. When you do an inspection, what are like some of the key points?
Well, like I tell my clients, you want me to find the little stuff, but you really want me to find the big stuff.
Right.
You want me to find the roof leaks. You want me to find the major electrical issues, major plumbing issues, and things like that. But we go through everything from roof to foundation. So we're looking at everything. So I go through a process. I'm a creature of habit. So I start at the front door, and I work myself around until I'm done. And my report system doesn't let me miss anything.
Okay, and I was going to ask you, so since you started this industry, there's been a ton of changes, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I used to handwrite, type everything in. So it was long. You come home, you think your day's over with. No, you got another 2 hours writing a report, So now I do my reports on site, on my phone, knock them out real quick and move on. So,
what do you see mostly in the negative? Is it roofing issues, electric issues, plumbing issues? Air conditioning?
Probably the biggest is the roofs right now because of the insurance companies. A roof could be in great shape. If it's 15 years old, you're not getting insurance. So you got to kind of look at it that way. I go up there and, I look for brittleness of the shingle. If it's brittle, falls apart in my hand,
right.
Done. I'll go up there and 16, 17-year-old shingle, still in good shape. Doesn't matter. they're still going to hit you hard for that insurance. So that's probably the biggest thing going on right now.
I just had a roofer in the other day and interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the different kind of roofs and how they need to be strapped down now. That has changed drastically.
Since the hurricanes, yeah.
Yeah.
They got
You know,
the strap now.
And we are in the hurricane capital of the world.
Yep.
All right, so you go and the roof is 8 years old. That doesn't mean it's still good.
No, you can still get up there, and it's because of the sunlight hitting it hard. And, it's just the location of it. It's still brittle. It's it's done. It's got a lot of gravel off of it. Tree branches leaning over and sliding over it and knocking all the gravel off. It'll wear a roof down real quick.
Okay, but now we're talking about a shingle roof.
Okay, if you're talking about barrel tall, well, barrel tall lasts you 30, 35 years because of the underlayment that's under it, not the actual tall.
Right.
The actual tall is just the cosmetic side of it. Golf ball hit it, crack. Doesn't matter. Water's going to go in, it's going to slide down. But if it's the membrane underneath it wears out, now you have problems. And the biggest problem with barrel tall roofs is the valleys. They don't do the valleys properly, and then you have problems.
What about metal roofs?
I'm a true believer that Florida needs to go to metal roofs completely.
Yeah.
Get rid of shingles, get rid of barrel tile, just go straight to metal and just get it over with, because those last.
What's the approximate life expectancy?
30, 35 years,
On a metal
until the
roof?
metal, yeah. You see the two different types of metal roofs now. You see the ones with the screw heads you can see,
Okay.
and then you see the ones where you can't see the screw heads. The ones with the screw heads you can see have the little plastic neoprene washer underneath it. Well, they wear out under the heat. Roofs get pretty hot, so they melt down. That's where all the leaks come from, the metal. You get the one without the screw heads where you can't see them, we hardly ever see leaks in those.
So, when you're going to inspect a house and has a metal roof,
Mm-hmm.
it's reported differently if it's ones with screws if it's one.
No, still a metal roof.
Yeah, but the ones with screws have a more of a chance of having leaks, correct?
Well, we're looking for leaks no matter what. We're getting in the attic and looking for leaks. The thing
Okay.
about, they say, oh, you got to walk on the roof. You ain't going to find no leaks walking on the roof.
That's true.
You're going to find leaks again in the attic. You ain't going to look at a roof from the top and go, oh, it's leaking right there. And let's say it's a big hole there. You can tell. You're looking for brittleness, things like that. You really don't want to walk on the roof, to be honest with you, because it's just going to wear it down more. It's not good to walk on roofs. It's not good to pressure wash roofs. It's not good to do a lot. Just leave them alone. Keep everything off of them. We get into the attic, and that's where we find the leaks. I get into the attic first before I go on the roof, so I can see if I see a problem. Then I'll go to that spot on the roof and see if there's some situation going on there.
What the other big thing, in my opinion, these are just my opinions, is air conditioning, because today it's like 107 heat index out there. Is there like an age, because you're the expert, is there an age thing when it comes to air conditionings?
Air conditioners like used cars. Driving good today, ain't driving tomorrow. So it's hard to determine. You can't determine life. I've seen the ACs 20 years old.
That's still running good?
20-degree differential. I've seen ACs 6 years old. Ain't blowing good at all.
Yeah, and here, we had the air conditioner put in 6 years ago, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only a 12-degree difference, and that's
not
something's
good.
wrong.
Yeah.
And when they came to inspect, they couldn't find a leak, but they believe there's a leak somewhere because there's oil in the water.
Okay.
I guess that would mean there's a leak.
Yeah, leak somewhere. We look more for, we're more, inspectors are looking to see if it's working or it's not working. So I want to know the differential. Is it getting cold? Then I want to check every vent to make sure we're getting air in every room. Because a lot of times the balance is off, where you're getting really cold on this side of the house and this side of the house is hot all the time.
Right.
So it's a balance situation.
Yeah, when I moved in here, I had ducts moved because there wasn't enough in here, and the back was freezing. Now, I didn't know that in these vents by the air conditioning unit, there are little holes, a hole on each one to put a thermometer in to see what the differential. I had no clue about that.
Yeah, that's what I carry around. A lot of those guys will use the little laser to check the temperature. They're not accurate. I put a little meat thermometer in the return, put a meat thermometer in the blow and the return on it, and find out exactly what is blowing.
Okay, so for you and your expertise, what should the differential be on an air conditioner?
I like to see between 18 and 22.
Okay.
If it's below 18, I'm calling for service. To me,
Interesting.
something's going on.
Yeah, because
Or it's just old.
here it's 12, and we come in the morning, it's fine, but by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's set at 73 and it's 75.
That's because it's hot outside.
Is it?
Yeah, it's so hot right now that ACs are they're running their butts off right now. They're killing themselves. It's the AC service guys are running wild right now.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're
I'm in the wrong industry.
Yeah, they're getting, yeah, we both in the wrong. I did roofing.
What about, okay, so let's go to the next, let's talk about plumbing. What do you look for when you inspect a home plumbing-wise?
Leaks. Water causes 80% of all damage. All insurance claims, about 80% of all insurance claims are from water. So
Okay.
leaks, roof leaks. We're looking for valves that are leaking, toilets that are leaking, running. You can't see underneath the floor. You can't see in the so you're not going to see none of that. So you got to kind of know if you got a toilet that's running, turning off, running, turning off. This, water's running there. If you got a toilet that's staying low, there might be something wrong with the pipes. You got to know if it's cast iron pipes. Cast iron's shot now, so you don't want to see cast iron pipes. They could be broken all the way down to the street. So,
and you'll see them, I guess, in older homes.
We'll see them at all. You just try to find like the clean out. You go to clean out and take the lid off. It may be you might see cast iron in there.
What about septic systems? I mean,
septic systems in St. Lucie County they no longer can put a new septic tank in. They can in St. Lucie County, not the St. Lucie, the non-county. So you're seeing most of those disappear. As they go bad, they have to be replaced by city. So city's forcing them to replace them.
And it's interesting because the gravity flow is sometimes directed by this big tank that pumps out to the street.
You talk about the grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grinding system.
Because mine broke.
Well, they replaced it, right?
I had it replaced, yeah.
You paid for it?
No.
No, they do.
It was a nightmare because we didn't understand why the water was coming up, and we didn't know, because this was in the beginning, we didn't know if it was septic, because we saw this big tank, we thought it was septic. We didn't know. And then we had a septic company come out, because that's what we thought we needed to do, and
they're like, nope.
No, we don't do that. Call the city.
Yeah.
But, it's so important for people who buy a home, and everybody says it's the most expensive investment in their life. It's actually the second most expensive. Have a kid, you'll find out.
Oh, I got 3 of them. I know.
Okay. Okay. So you'll know that your house is not the most expensive thing.
No.
But it's so important to have the homes inspected.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And people don't understand that because people think, and I talk about this all the time, that you can go on YouTube and fix anything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's what happens. First of all, you've heard it from me a million times. Use a professional. It's going to cost you 10 times more, 5 times more in cost, and 10 times more in aggravation if you don't.
Well, the home inspector is going to cost you about $400 to $600 to have it inspected.
Right.
To have everything done, wind mitigation, termite, everything. You don't have it inspected, and you find some stuff wrong. The average is $6,000 to $10,000 in repairs that you're going to be doing. So it's better to find out beforehand.
Right.
My thing is with the industry. I think the industry in general is opposite. I think we should be inspecting houses before they go on the market, find out what's wrong with them, and then put them on the market and sell them. And if they want to have inspected after that, but then you have all that fixed. You get an inspection after you put it on the market. You come in and inspect it. You find a bunch of stuff wrong with it. That buyer walks away. Well, now you got to wait for another buyer. If you would have just had it inspected first, you'd been good.
Okay, so the way I see it is don't see, don't tell in the seller.
But you also have a disclaimer in there. So if they go and have an inspection done by a professional inspector, you only know what he's told you. It's right there in front of you. So it also protects you from the law of disclosure law. They can come back and say, oh, you knew about that. No, I didn't. The inspector said I didn't find that. So
It's interesting because like me and probably most other people, we don't even think of that. I wouldn't even think of that.
And also the idea of, we got inspectors out there that pay real estate offices to promote them.
Uh-huh.
So there's one agency out there that has a 3-tier that you can pay to get into, and they promote those guys. Well, they're not the best guys out there. So my true belief is that the industry needs to go to real estate offices should not refer any home inspector. They should not
shouldn't
even
refer
be
anybody.
involved in that. Yeah, they should not.
Right.
Nothing. You want a home inspector? Go to Yellow Pages, go to Google, go wherever, and find you a home inspector. Because doing the way they're doing it now, I think it's a conflict of interest. to be honest
Well,
with
and it's in more than one thing, because they say, all right, you're buying this house. All right, so this is the mortgage company you should use. This is that opens the door for trouble, in
you.
my
Oh, yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. All the apples on the tree ain't bad.
No. We get
There's
that.
a lot of good ones out there.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so
why would you open that door? You know, I came from Jersey, and I did
Mm-hmm.
real estate in Jersey. And they have the perfect program. You want to buy a house? The realtor can't do the contract. You got to go to an attorney.
oh really? Yeah,
You
that's
have
it,
to
yeah.
use an attorney. So, obviously, I have my license here as a realtor. If I do anything, I make them go to an attorney. Well, can't you do it as a realtor? I don't want to do it. I want
No,
you
you want
to
that
do it.
liability.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't want that liability.
And that lawyer's not going to tell you a home inspector to use because he don't want that liability.
Right.
He's going to send you to
Right.
Google and say, go find your own home inspector.
And I don't care if the contracts are prepared by the Board of Realtors and the association. I don't want to, one is, I don't want to be responsible for anything in that. Two is, I don't want to take the time to write it.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want to, so go to an attorney, you'll be protected tenfold over what our contracts will do, and it'll give you peace of mind,
Peace
in
of
my
mind,
opinion.
yeah.
We're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website
Our website, APROtected.net,
and a phone number?
772-528-0873.
Use a professional. If you don't, you're a fool. Jerry, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day, and we'll be right back.